Welcome back to Nonsense Farm. Today I'm going to take all the remaining blackberries that I froze from the summer and make them into jam. All summer long as I harvest blackberries, I put them in these quart bags and put them in the freezer. And then now it is November, and so it's fine to heat up the house. So now I'm going to take them all and make them into blackberry jam. All that you need to make wonderful jam is your fruit, sugar, and pectin. I like liquid pectin because I don't have to worry about it dissolving. Inside the pectin box comes a handy-dandy paper, and it has the instructions for making your jam. Cooked jam recipes, blackberry. All right, so for each batch, we need 8 cups of berries. So let's measure all these and just see how many we're working with here. There's 4, 8. There's enough for 1 batch. I wonder if you can make 2 batches in the same cooking. Let's find out, shall we? Can you make 2 batches of jam at one time? It is not recommended to make 2 batches of jam at one time in a single pot. Okay, well then I won't do that. So here is 8 cups. To prepare, I ran all the jelly jars through the dishwasher. And then I have separated the bands from the main lids here. And I'm going to run some warm water and let these be warming up while I'm cooking the jam. And these are all set out on a towel because I'm going to be ladling hot jam into these jars. This is a jar wrench that helps you get the jars in and out of the canner. And this is a ladle that we will use to ladle the hot jam into the jars. All right, let's go make our jam. One pro tip when you're making jam is you want to go ahead and take your pectin packet and go ahead and cut the top off of it and then set it in a glass measuring cup so it won't spill. Because when it comes time to add the pectin, you don't really have time to be grabbing the scissors and opening it up. You just need it to be ready. Normally, if I were starting with fresh berries, I would crush the berries, but these, are frozen, so I can't very well crush them. So I'm just going to go ahead and get them started cooking. This is our 7 cups of sugar. As it warms up, then I will use this masher to crush it. Another thing you can do if you don't really care for seeds is you could run it through a food mill or a sieve, the crushed fruit, to get the seeds out. But I just think the seeds are kind of the tax for eating blackberry jam. We're starting to get somewhere. The berries are starting to give up their juice. This will become a liquid. I know it seems strange when you first do it, but it really, really will. All right, you can see that it's gotten warm. It's very liquid, and I'm using this masher to mash up the fruit. It's looking really good. So now what we're waiting on is it will boil. And for a while, I'll be able to stir it and make it stop boiling. But at a certain point, even if I stir it, it will continue boiling. When that happens, I set the timer for 1 minute. Then I add the pectin, and I stir the pectin in, and I keep stirring it. And when it returns to a boil that I can't stir down, I cook it like that for 1 minute. Then our jam is ready. It has started to boil. Let's see, can I stir it down? Nope. All right, let's go ahead and start our 1 minute timer. 1 minute. All right. Thirty more seconds. for 3, 2, 1. All right, now we're going to pour this pectin in here. Stir it in. It will temporarily stop boiling. Then we wait for it to start boiling again. In the meantime, a friend texted me about the sourdough recipe. The sourdough unloaf recipe, very popular video. Let's see here. Photos, collections. Y'all, if you haven't already, go ahead and make an album in your phone just for recipes. That way you're not always searching for it. You know right where to go. Now the jam is all cooked. Now we are going to ladle it into these beautiful jars. Let's see. First I'm going to push this over closer so I have less drips. I've done 3 batches today, and this jam will be for sale on my Nonsense Farm online shop, which you can find at nonsensefarm.com/shop. This is a canning ladle, and it kind of protects the rim so you don't make a huge mess. You want to do it not all the way up, see, kind of like that. The next step is that you want to get a paper towel that you've dipped in some warm water and clean the rim of each one of the jars. Because the next step is that we're going to put the lids on, and you want it to be able to have a good seal. Now I grew these blackberries, but if you don't grow fruit, that's okay. Go to the farmer's market, get some fruit, or even you can even make jelly. Like if you want to make grape jelly, go get a bottle of Welch's grape juice and make grape jelly. It's a very low pressure way to experiment with making jams and jellies. All right, next up, put the lids on. I've had these lids on a very low heat, getting clean, and also for the gummy edge to get nice and gummy so it'll make a good seal. I've seen people recently online say you don't really have to do that anymore, but it makes sense to me, so I still do it. All right, now we're gonna put the other part of the lid on, tighten it down. I ran out of jelly jars, and so I just did a whole pint, and that's just gonna be for our family. My canner has 7 slots, so we will put 7 jars in and get started processing. You need the water to be 1 or 2 inches above the level of the cans. I'd say it's about 1 inch. We'll call that good. Put the lid on, turn the heat up, and now we have to wait for it to come to a rolling boil, which isn't far off. And when it does, we will turn the timer on for 10 minutes. Can you see this steam rolling out of here? It's time to start the timer. Our 10 minutes is up. Let's get those jars. We have our trusty jar wrench. we go. Now as they cool, you'll start hearing a pop, 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 and that just means that the lids are sealing. And in fact, I'll let it run for just a second. We'll see if we hear one. Let me take the mic off and put it over there.